Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially almost the end of 2018. I just love this time of year to do my end of the year list. I'm just so excited. These are my top 10 favorite movies of 2018. Now, there's a lot of things before I go into this video. First, I haven't seen every movie that came out this year. I'm not the guy that watches all the movies of the year. There are going to be a couple of movies that I haven't seen. Movies like Paddington 2, Overlord, First Man, Black Kekskin, I can't say the name right, I'm sorry, the one with Adam Driver. I haven't seen those movies and I wish I had seen those movies. And there are also going to be some movies that are meant to come out this year, but it's coming out in January 2019, such as Mary Poppins Returns and Instant Family. So I'm sorry those movies won't be on my list, but the movies I did see, it is going to be on this list. And this is my personal list. There could be some movies that were an A+ on the bottom of the list, and A's can be like on the middle of the list, and maybe A- can be my number one. Who knows? If you guys like say, oh, you gave this movie an A+, blah blah blah, it's not the majority of the ratings, it's the majority of the movies that I have enjoyed. So, yep, this year I'm going to do some honorable mentions. Last year and the year before, I never liked doing honorable mentions, but there's so many good movies this year. Even though this year has been a very mixed year, this has been so many good movies that came out this year. So, name out the honorable mentions real quick. The Shape of Water, I know, it's meant to come out last year, but this year it came out in January. Annihilation, Deadpool 2, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Bumblebee, Love, Simon, Bohemian Rhapsody, Bad Times at the El Royale, Crazy Rich Asians, Christopher Robin, The Hate U Give, and I know you're gonna kill me for this honorable mention, A Star Is Born. Those movies I really freaking like, but they're not as good as the other 10 movies that are on this list. So guys, let's get started on my top 10 best movies of 2018, starting out with number 10. So, let's start off this list with Incredibles 2. I know, a bit low on my list, but I think there are a couple of movies that I like a lot better than this movie. But still, this is the sequel we've all been waiting for, and my freaking god, this movie was some of the best sequels that I've ever seen out of this year. The animation looks fantastic. We get to see the Parr family back together again, and they're still great since they were in 2004. The action scenes were fantastic. Elastigirl is such a badass in this film. But also, the family was also really good, and Jack stole this entire movie. I like that this movie is taking a superhero story into a whole different level, and that's what superhero movies should do nowadays, make an original story. And Incredibles 2 is fantastic, still a great Pixar film, and guys, need to see this film. So, coming into my number 9 is Ready Player One. Definitely one of the most underrated movies of this entire freaking year. Literally, I don't think anyone will put this movie on their top 10 list. Maybe honorable mentions, maybe, but I freaking love this movie. This movie has some really great CGI work. The pop culture references is amazing, and this movie brings you into a whole new world that made me think I wish it was very realistic, because this world in the movie The Oasis looks amazing. Also, the cast did a really good job. Ben Mendelsohn was a great villain in this movie. I love the action scenes in this movie. The action scenes were fantastic. I think this is the movie that Steven Spielberg was really wanting to make, because this movie looks like a movie that I think Steven Spielberg has his imagination on. This movie is based on a book, and I never liked books, but I wish I have read that book. Alright, let's go very artsy on my number 8, The Isle of Dogs. I really love Wes Anderson. I thought he's one of the most artistic directors out there. He makes some fantastic films. Definitely this film is my favorite out of his. This movie has some of the best stop motion animation that I've ever seen in a movie. My god, this movie looks amazing with the animation. The characters in the movie was great. Even the cast of this movie, like Edward Norton, Bryan Cranston, freaking Scarlett Johansson, everyone did a really great job in this film. And this movie is very heartwarming and also really hilarious. This is kind of like the movie that gave me an inspiration of why I love movies so much. We cannot do the top 10 best movies of 2018 without putting Avengers Infinity War. Like, it's just like a rule right now. Avengers Infinity War was fantastic. It's a movie that we've all been waiting for since the end credit scene of the first Avengers movie. Definitely this movie is my favorite Avengers so far out of the series, because this movie was fantastic. Everyone did a good job. This movie is very crowded, but in a really good way. Josh Brolin as Thanos, one of the best villains of this entire year. He is fantastic in this movie, because this villain is not just a bad guy, he does things for a reason, and you can feel why Thanos has to destroy this world. And the movie has some of the most intense ending I have ever seen in a movie. Still not spoiling it to you guys if you guys haven't seen it. Right when I walked out of the theater, I was literally thinking that ending needs to be on my top 10 list. This movie is everything I want an MCU movie to be, guys, and I can't wait to see what happens in Avengers Endgame. But Avengers Infinity War was not my favorite MCU movie of the year, because the scene with Rocket Groot kind of ruined the scene for me. But this is my favorite MCU film of the year, Black Panther. I love this movie. I watched this movie literally twice in theaters, and I loved it more and more and more that I enjoy it. This movie has some great action, and what I like about this movie more than Infinity War, it does not feel like a superhero film. It feels like a completely different film. Yeah, there are some action. Black Panther was great in this film. The action scenes, Ryan Coogler directed it so amazing. But this is a movie about the man behind the mask, T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman did such a fantastic job in this movie. I couldn't see anyone else playing Black Panther. Oh my god, Michael B. Jordan in this film as Killmonger. Holy shit, he was great in this movie. This is the movie that definitely empowers women, because the women in the movie are so badass in this film. The air action scenes are so much fun in the film. This movie is funny. It has some very intense scenes. A lot of people's like, this is kind of like a Marvel's version of Lion King. I don't care. It fits into the story of this movie. Alright guys, up to the top 5. Now this is the company that I really hated. I hated Screen Gems. Finally, they made a great movie, Searching. This is a movie that's a mix between Taken and Unfriended. Mashed it together and made it to one of the best thrillers of this entire year. This movie's intense. You don't know what is coming. Like, that's what I like about this film. It's like, this film kept me a lot of questions. Like, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, what? I didn't see that coming. Okay, what's this gonna happen? That's what I freaking love about Searching. It just gets you engaged the whole way through. John Cho in this movie did such a fantastic freaking job. Deborah Messing was also really great in this film. This is kind of like where originality comes into play. This movie has some of the best filmmaking that I've ever seen in a movie. This movie, not even joking, not even a single scene that's off screen. And that is such clever filmmaking with a movie like this. Guys, have to see Searching. I think this is kind of underrated. Like, not much people have saw this movie. Check this movie out, people. Okay, horror films have been pretty shit this year. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But we got one great horror film this year. A Quiet Place is where originality, to me, comes into play. John Krasinski is a great director of this film, because the reason why being, he's not trying to make this a horror film. Even though it is technically a horror film, it's trying to be a film about the characters trying to protect a family that he needs to save. And I think that is clever right there, and that's what he wanted for a film like this. And I think he delivers it so freaking well. Other than John Krasinski, Emily Blunt is definitely going to have the Best Actress nomination after this movie. She did such a fantastic job in the film. This film kept me in my edge of my seat the entire freaking time, because you don't even know what's going to happen. Especially this movie's about being quiet. If you make a sound, creatures will kill you. I was literally eating my popcorn so quietly. Even everyone in the theater. There's not even a single person that talks during the movie. And usually in horror films I go to, like, people go be like, ah! No. They were silent. That's how suspenseful this movie is. And it is a really good thing. I literally watched this movie a lot of times, and I loved it every single time I've seen it. Guys, A Quiet Place, damn great movie. Now, coming in number 3 is definitely my favorite action film of this entire year. You've guessed what it is. It is Mission Impossible Fallout. The director of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation came back to direct this movie, and holy shit, this movie was spectacular. This is definitely my favorite Mission Impossible movie in the series. I really love this movie. The more I watch it, the more I like this movie. Tom Cruise, getting older, but still fantastic in this movie, and more stunts than ever freaking before. And also, Henry Cavill in this film was fantastic. And it's weird to say this, he has some of the best mustaches of this entire freaking year. I really love the action scenes of this movie. This movie has some fantastic looking action scenes. The story of this movie I completely understand. Not like the other Mission Impossible films that have like very dialogue driven, confusing stories. This movie I understand every freaking moment of it. Alright, my number 2 and number 1 is some of the hardest number 2s and number 1s that I've ever done. But I have to think through it. Which movie that I like better than this movie. And I thought about it. I could change my mind every single way like last year. But, you know what? I made up my decision. My number 2 of my favorite movies of 2018 is definitely going to be Roma. Alfonso Cuarón is one of the most, with Wes Anderson, the most artistic directors out there. This movie has some of the best shots that I've ever seen throughout this entire freaking year. This movie is beautiful. The way it's constructed, the way the black and white looks, it's telling kind of like a realistic fugitive story. This movie has some of the most realistic acting, realistic dialogue. The woman that plays Claire needs to win an Oscar for this movie. She did such a great job in this film. Alfonso Cuarón could be one of my favorite directors because the way he films this movie, it's like art. It's pure art. Guys, this movie is very heartwarming, emotional, and has some of the most realistic, discussions that I've ever seen in a movie. And it feels like everyone would say that in real life, and everyone would say that in real life. Alright guys, my number 1, my favorite movie of 2018. This is the movie that made me laugh the most, cry the most, laugh the most. I said laugh the most twice. The movie that made me impacted, edge of my seat. Guys, this is my number 1 favorite movie of 2018. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't care. If you guys think this movie doesn't deserve to be in my number 1, I don't care. It is my list. This movie was phenomenal. I love this movie. I literally watched this movie 3 times in the theater. I'm not even kidding. This movie, I liked it more and more and more. That's why I think this movie deserves to be on my number 1. The action scene's amazing. The animation in this movie, my God, it looks incredible. The characters in this movie is great. All the Spider-Verse people get a chance to shine, but Miles Morales, definitely one of the most heartfelt characters of this entire film. And speaking of heartfelt, this movie is emotional. It is dark in some moments. This movie is some of the best Spider-Man stories that I've ever seen on a big screen. Definitely, guys, I don't care. I thought this movie is better than Spider-Man 2. I love the whole aspect of the movie. It has something that everyone wanted with a Spider-Man film. They wanted something different, not with always Peter Parker, Uncle Ben's death. No, this movie completely took a whole new generation, and I can't wait to see what happens when the new universe comes through. So guys, that is it. My top 10 best movies of 2018. Let me know in the comments below. What is your top 10 best movies of 2018? I really want to know. I really want to see your list. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll read it to you guys, see if I agree with some of it or disagree. But it doesn't matter. It is your list. I will like it every single way. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter. Keep contacting me. And of course, my top 10 worst movies of 2018 is coming soon. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, notified for my latest videos, and have a nice day.